We've got a lot of updates for you on this week's episode of the Adiation Central Weekly Show, and it all starts right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the Adiation Central Weekly Show. I'm Andrew, and I'm here with my co-host, David. David, say hi.
Hello.
For everyone who is listening for the first time, welcome to the show, and if it isn't, welcome back. We'll be covering some very interesting topics in this week's podcast, including first flight for an passenger aircraft.
Well, that's right. And wow, Andrew, you've got a lot of energy this morning. That's right, though. Eviation is an all-electric passenger aircraft company. They have their new aircraft, Alice, just completed its first flight last Tuesday. According to a press release from Eviation, it's all electric aircraft. Alice successfully completed the first flight of its zero-emission Alice aircraft, lifted off about 7:10 a.m. from the Grant County International Airport, flying for 8 minutes at an altitude of 3,500 feet. This flight of technology here, truly incredible, demonstrates that Eviation, they're able to collect some of that data to further optimize the aircraft for commercial production. In a quote, they were saying, that was CEO Gregory Davis was saying that today we embark on the next era of aviation. We have successfully electrified the skies with an unforgettable first flight of Alice. People now know what affordable, clean, and sustainable aviation looks and sounds like for the first time with a fixed-wing, all-electric aircraft. This is a groundbreaking milestone within the aviation community and will lead to further innovation in sustainable air travel in the shape of both passenger and cargo travel for the future. Alice they produce no carbon emissions with that flight. They significantly reduce noise as well, and it costs a fraction of the cost per flight hour compared to light jets or higher-end turboprop aircraft.
This new generation of aircraft has the power to transform communities by providing access to airports not currently used by commercial flights due to noise concerns or restricted operating hours. So Eviation Alice is targeted at computer and cargo markets and will typically operate flights ranging from 150 to 250 miles. Cape Air and Global Crossing Airlines, both U.S.-based regional airlines, have placed orders for 75 and 50 Alice aircraft respectively. DHL expresses its Eviation first cargo customer with an order of 12 Alice e-cargo planes. With this engagement, DHL aims to establish the first electric express network, leading the way for a new era of zero-emissions air. The first flight of Alice represents a transformational milestone for the aviation industry, said Cape Air founder of board chairman Dan Wolf. We currently fly more than 400 regional flights per day, connecting more than 30 cities across the United States and the Caribbean. Alice can easily cover 80% of our flight operations, bringing sustainable, emission-free travel to the communities we serve. The first flight of Alice confirms our belief that the era of sustainable aviation is here, said Geoff Kerr, Senior Vice President of Global Air Fleet Management. DHL expresses, with our order of 12 Alice e-cargo planes, we are investing towards our overall goal of zero emissions logistics. DHL is the industry leader by introducing new and more sustainable cargo aircraft types to the global market. Alice is the true game changer by enabling long-distance air transport for the first time with zero emissions. This historic flight marks a significant milestone on our journey to ultimately achieving net zero emissions by 2050. Flying electric aircraft will provide a sustainable, emission-free way to travel.
Well, that's right, and this is a lot of really interesting as well. This is definitely going to be a great option for a lot of the regional airlines, some of the regional flights, some of the more quieter. It's going to be a lot cheaper to operate, especially once we have more of these in production. And Alice is, it's obviously new, so it's not going to have combustion engines or anything like that, or some of the turboprop. It's entirely electric. So how does it do that? Well, it's powered by two Magni 650 electric propulsion units from the Magni X, the only flight-proven electric propulsion systems at this scale. More are currently being developed by other companies, but this is the only one that is flight proven at this time. Other key suppliers include AVL for the battery support, GKN for the wings, Honeywell for the advanced fly-by-wire system, flight controls and avionics. The Multiplast company is supplying the fuselage, Parker Aerospace for 6 technology systems, and Potez for its doors. Alice's advanced battery system is highly efficient and endlessly upgradable, enabling range improvements as battery technology evolves, which is absolutely amazing. We can continue to see this aircraft being used for a while. The aircraft also incorporates a fly-by-wire cockpit, providing greater reliability and systems redundancy.
While reading that, the press release was truly amazing to me, and as this has been a frequent topic on the show.
Yeah, this is definitely interesting because this is something we've been talking about for a while. A lot of things that are, oh yeah, we'll see this in 2026. Oh yeah, we'll see this by 2030. We see so many of these different airlines, so many of these different companies being able to say that, and we've seen some of these all-electric aircraft fly before. But this is unique because now we are starting to commercialize it. This is really the first step that we're seeing here from Eviation with the Alice aircraft, and this is why this is so unique, is because we've actually seen this flying now in September of 2022 at this point is when we've seen this fly. Flew last Tuesday, the 27th, I believe, and this was, this is something that we're seeing here. This is new as far as for the passenger side. This is what's truly unique and special about this. So many different companies involved with the development of this, but this truly is showing, hey, we're not gonna wait. The future of aviation's here. Sustainable aviation's here, and Eviation's proved that.
Yeah, and then back to the electric stuff. A small plane can have a fuel capacity of 4,000 to 5,000 liters, and that's really pricey when it comes to gasoline right now.
Oh yeah, it's so pricey. Yeah.
So switching to electric would make it so cheap compared to that.
Yeah, we definitely see that, as well as rising gas prices are an issue right now, and this isn't going to be an immediate fix. That's still going to be a problem for now. This is something that is continuing to affect everyone, the aviation community, regular everyday people just driving cars, trying to get to and from work. It affects all of us in so many different ways. But what this is doing is it is now providing a clear vision, and it is showing that it's not only just something that's hypothetical, not something we can see in 4 years, 2 years. It's saying we're going to do this now. We just did it, and that's really going to help out as well, with potentially be able to see that as we continue to move to more sustainable options for how we're going to continue living as humans.
Yeah, and then a Boeing 747. Tank capacity is 63,500 gallons, and when you think about how much that is, an average car only needs 18 gallons whenever they refill at a gas station, and that's still $60.
Right, and we're going to see this on larger scales here in the future as well, and this is going to be so much easier to be able to utilize. There are still questions, regarding the effectiveness of, sustainable or all-electric vehicles right now, or some of the aircraft. But it's safe to say, especially as battery technology, as more sustainable options get better with wind, solar, I'm excited to see what happens here, since this could potentially make flying a lot cheaper for a lot of people.
Well, this is certainly a big step in the right direction for aviation, and I'm excited to see how this new industry really takes off in the future.
Yeah, for sure. And airline passengers will continue to see a lot of changes through the coming years, but some much sooner than others. The Department of Transportation has just announced in a press release last week that they're introducing new regulations that would significantly strengthen protections for consumers by ensuring that they have access to certain fee information before they purchase their airline tickets. Under proposed regulations, airlines and travel search websites would have to disclose upfront the first time an airfare is displayed, any fees charged to sit with your child, for canceling or changing your flight, for any sort of checked or carry-on baggage, any of those other fees that are associated with a flight. That information needs to be right up front. So ideally, we can these consumers will have all the information they need right up front, right there, so they can choose the best deal for them. Otherwise, surprise fees can add up quickly and overcome what may look at first to be a pretty cheap fare.
So, in a statement, U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg said airline passengers deserve to know the full true cost of their flights before they buy a ticket. This new proposed rule would require airlines to be transparent with customers about the fee they charge, which will help travelers make informed decisions and save money. Under the department's proposal, U.S. air carriers, foreign air carriers, and ticket agents would be required to clearly disclose passenger-specific or itinerary-specific baggage fees, change fees, cancellation fees, and family seating fees to consumers whenever fare and schedule information is provided to consumers for flights to within and from the United States. These fees would be required to be displayed as passenger-specific or itinerary-specific based on the consumer's choice, because seat availability and fees can fluctuate frequently. The department is also proposing to require carriers and ticket agents to enable consumers traveling with a young child to purchase the seats with the fare at all points of sale. The department further proposes to require that carriers provide usable, current, and accurate information regarding baggage fees, change fees, cancellation fees, and adjacent seating fees for families traveling with young children, if any, to ticket agents that sell or display the carrier's fare and schedule information.
Well, the White House has implied that these new regulations will also help Americans be more aware of the prices they pay given the high inflation rates that we're seeing today. This may affect budget airlines, though, who really make their money on these fees. There are certainly arguments to both sides here, but this is a direction that the Department of Transportation and the Biden administration, this is the direction they're going.
So, the American Society of Travel Advisors has concerns about the Department of Transportation's proposal. Though it applauds the DOT's efforts, the ASTA believes fee disclosures may burden travel agencies. Executive Vice President of Advocacy Eben Peck believes that the proposal plan is a step in the right direction, meaning that passengers should know precisely what fees will be charged when purchasing airfare. That said, ASTA has serious concerns about the effects of the requirement to disclose multiple fees in each and every offline transaction, even to repeat customers and frequent flyers. We will have on-agency operations in its last proposal rulemaking on this topic. In 2017, it mandated these disclosures only upon the customer's request. It should do so again here.
Yeah, so this is interesting because the Department of Transportation is taking an issue right now that we can see within the aviation community and within airlines, and they'll say the idea now is, hey, we're going to make these prices more aware to you. What Vice President Peck is saying here is that's great, but we should also make sure that we have the option to, if you have frequent flyers who already understand this and know what the prices are going to be, maybe we don't have to tell them each and every single time.
I mean, wouldn't it be nice to know how much you pay for an airline ticket?
Oh yeah, I mean that's good. I'm not denying that at all. That's really good, and I'm excited to see that. But you know, there are concerns on the both sides here. But I think overall this is a good decision. More transparency with airlines, which is something they've been focusing on recently as well. It's good to see, but potentially you could look at options for, you know, maybe having the option to opt out of those briefs, if you will.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But, you know, obviously interesting news coming from the Department of Transportation on that front, though. But we've got some other news as well. A new airline is being added to the Skyteam airline organization. But first, we hope you're enjoying today's episode. If you are, please consider subscribing to our show, leave a 5-star review, and leave a comment. Aviation Central is a bigger community than just this podcast, and we maintain a YouTube channel and Instagram page as well. And we've also added the Facebook page back as well. Yay! If this sounds interesting to you, then you can find us at www.aviationcentral.com and discover more awesome content there. We post more of that throughout the week, and thank you so much for listening to us so far, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Virgin Atlantic has just agreed to become the 19th member of Skyteam. 18 airlines currently comprise Skyteam, including Delta Airlines, Korean Air, and others. According to their website, Skyteam was founded in 2000 to provide the opportunity for airlines to work together to offer their customers access to a larger network and also share loyalty benefits. It flies 676 million people a year, and this is dedicated to providing a more seamless travel experience at every step of their own journey. This powerful partnership opens up a huge global network beyond our own, flying to 170 countries across 6 continents with more than 10,000 daily departures to over 1,000 destinations. It's also a mutually rewarding loyalty program with opportunities for people using this as a flying club and redeem points across all SkyTeam airlines and add extra benefits like priority boarding, extra baggage allowance, lounge access, and more. Today, Britain's second largest long-haul carrier proudly flies over 5 million people a year direct to 27 destinations across the UK, US, Caribbean, Africa, Asia, and Israel.
Wow. Yeah, so this is definitely pretty interesting, and man, I would love to get some of those baggage discounts. Yeah, right. But this partnership between Virgin Atlantic and the SkyTeam Airline Alliance now allows its members to earn even more benefits by flying with Virgin Atlantic, and is going to continue to help expand its global aviation influence. This appears to be a fitting partnership for the companies as they now move forward together. Airlines joining alliances isn't something that happens every day. So this is definitely noteworthy. What's definitely to come next year in 2023? Yeah, this is even more so as well. Of course, 6 continents. I can't even count that on one hand. We've got 18 different airlines that are coming here. This is a 19th airline now. So these alliances exist, but this is more of like a global alliance here. We've got U.S. airlines. We've got some from the Middle East, Africa, Asia, Pacific region, and now, of course, we're adding Virgin Atlantic to this list. So this is definitely really, really exciting, and I'm really excited to see how this continues to improve in the future.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to see how this partnership expands through 2023. With that, though, we now head to the best part of this podcast, this week's aircraft and the trivia question of the week.
Well, I'm glad to hear that this is your favorite part of the podcast. Yeah, okay. We've got a lot of different aircraft to choose from, and this week we've decided to go with the Bell X1. The X1 is the first aircraft to break the sound barrier. This is why it's so cool, guys. It's a rocket engine-powered aircraft designated originally as the XS1. It was a joint National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, as well as the U.S. Army Air Forces. This is part of their supersonic research project built by Bell Aircraft. The aircraft itself was first proposed in 1944, so still back in World War II. Was built at the end of World War II in 1945, and it reached 1,000 miles an hour, guys. 870 knots per hour in 1948, flown by Chuck Yeager, rest in peace. But this is a derivative of the same design. The Bell X-1A, it had a greater fuel capacity, hence longer rocket burning and time. This one exceeded 1,600 miles an hour, or 1,400 knots an hour in 1954. So this is a project that was continued. The X-1 was piloted by Chuck Yeager, the first manned airplane to exceed the sonic boom. First reach that first manned aircraft to do that. This was the first in the X-plane series of American experimental, rocket aircraft and non-rocket planes as well for designing and testing new technologies.
It was truly a fantastic aircraft, I'll tell you that, and that one was flown by Chuck Yeager and can be found at the NASA Flight Test Research Center at Edwards Air Force Base in California. And actually, fun fact about the X-1 Bell, it can't take off on its own. It has to be dropped from a B-29.
Wasn't that what they used to drop the atomic bombs over Nagasaki and Hiroshima? Isn't that the type of aircraft they use for that?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, I guess it's good for dropping nuclear bombs. I guess. Oh yeah. Boxcar and Enola Gay. So those same exact type of aircraft were used for the X-1 project as well. So that's also pretty interesting. But man, what an aircraft the X-1 was, though. First of a kind aircraft, especially being the manned side of it. But today it's my turn, Andrew, to ask you a trivia question.
Yay.
Yes, indeed. We invite, I don't know if this is your favorite part of the week when I ask you the questions, is it?
Well,
all right. Well, we'll see if you will know this or not. We also invite our listeners back at home as well, wherever you may be, to take a guess as well. Let us know in the comments if you get this right. But this week's question, what speed does a 747 take off? What is the rotate speed?
that is actually very easy. The answer to your question is 160 knots, or 184 miles per hour.
Nerd. Good job. Okay, well, that's not exactly how I wanted that to go. But that's okay. That's good that you're smart.
I know. So, until next week's question, though, we're so glad you joined us this morning. We hope you enjoyed today's show. And for more aviation content from us throughout the week, please visit us at www.aviationcentral.com. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Aviation Central Weekly Show, and catch you guys later.